station of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Arizona.
It's July 1st as we turn around the halfway mark of the season. The Diamondbacks holding off these Colorado Rockies for the top wild card spot. Chase Field is filled up tonight. It's D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona, and it's brought to you by Sanderson Ford. And to our servicemen and women around the world, this one's for you. Good evening from Chase Field and welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthiaume and Bob Renly along the way. This is a big one tonight. The ballpark is full. It's our July 1st celebration, and the Rockies only 2.5 games behind the Diamondbacks wild card lead. So Bob, let's start with the offense here. Who's been one of the key contributors for you over the first half of the season?
Well, there have been many, but you'd have to put Chris Owings up near the top of the list. This is a guy last season hit at the top or bottom of the order most of the time. This season, he's found himself batting third, fourth, fifth, a middle of the lineup run producer, and that's exactly what he's done. The numbers on the left in 2016 came over 119 ball games. The numbers on the right this year in 81 games.
2 home runs for CO last night. They've been without Yasmani Tomas for a month now. He's really filled that hole in the 5 spot. Zach Greinke on the mound tonight against Colorado's Tyler Chatwood, unbeaten at Chase Field this year.
9 starts here at Chase, a perfect 7-0. Opponents hitting only .203 against him. This is definitely the guy you want on the mound here at Chase Field in front of this crowd tonight.
Yeah, it is a full house here at Chase. Our 1st of July celebration. This one's going to be a lot of fun. It's the Diamondbacks and the Rockies, and the first pitch is coming up on Fox Sports Arizona. Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by Gila River. Experience winning like you've never imagined at the Gila River Casinos, Lone Butte, Wild Horse Pass, and Equiva. By Tire Pros, everything rotates around you. By Jack in the Box and the Jumbo Jack, a home run for your mouth. And by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by your Valley Honda dealer, where you get more standard features for less money.
By Chaz Roberts, Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. By Oregano. Step up to the plate for a guaranteed home run. At Oregano's, your neighborhood pizza joint. Location statewide. By Gigablast, Internet from Cox. Welcome to the gig life. And by State Farm. State Farm is here to help life go right. Talk to an agent today or call 1-800-STATE-FARM.
Chase Field is full on this 1st of July. Zach Greinke and Jeff Mathis, your battery today. It's the Diamondbacks and the Colorado Rockies. And the first pitch is next on Fox Sports Arizona. Field in downtown Phoenix. It's our 1st of July celebration. State 48 patriotic t-shirts handed out to all the fans here. This place is just about full. There's a 15-minute fireworks spectacular planned for after the ball game as we celebrate the 4th. On the 1st, it's the D-backs and the Colorado Rockies who are breathing down the D-backs' necks, both in the NL West and the wild card standings. Let's take a look at the lineup for the Rockies. It's brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
That guy, Charlie Blackmon, leading it off once again for Bud Black. He'll be out in center field. Raimel Tapia will be the right fielder tonight. Nolan Arenado down at third base. Mark Reynolds at first. Trevor Story at shortstop. Alexi Amarista playing second base. Mike Tauchman will be out in left field. Tony Walters doing the catching for right-hander Tyler Chatwood.
Your Ram truck starter for the D-backs is the right-hander Zach Greinke, 9-4 in his 16 starts. Zach top 10 in the National League, both in strikeouts and ERA. And he's coming off a win over the Phillies his previous time out here on Monday.
Had to labor a little bit in that victory over the Phillies, threw 102 pitches in 5 innings of work. Yeah, you know Zach Greinke's a big game pitcher, and even though we're here on the 1st of July, it can't really be considered a big game, but a full house playing against a division opponent, this is why he's here.
Trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. Here's the Diamondbacks defensive lineup brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Daniel Descalso will be out in left field with Ray Fuentes in center, David Peralta in right field, Jake Lamb and Chris Owens on the left side of the infield with Brandon Drury and Paul Goldschmidt on the right side. Jeff Mathis, as usual, behind the plate for right-hander Zach Greinke.
Mike Estabrook is the plate umpire. Will call the balls and strikes. Marvin Hudson at first base, Tom Woodring at second, and the crew chief Jerry Lane is at third. And Bob, before we get started, time for your Valley Honda dealers key to the game.
Big full house here. Let's send them home happy tonight. Not only for the fireworks show after the ball game and all the festivities during the game, but wouldn't hurt a darn thing to put a W on the board tonight.
4th of July themed uniforms in place for the rest of the weekend. Charlie Blackmon led off last night's ball game with a home run. Leads off for the Rockies, and we're underway with a foul ball and a strike one. This was Blackmon leading off the game last night against Robbie Ray. His 3rd leadoff homer this year and the 25th of his career.
What a party pooper.
It was not the start that the Diamondbacks certainly were hoping for, but Blackmon has a knack for doing that. Leading the major leagues in hits. And Greinke quickly jumps ahead. 0-2. Blackmon, who celebrates his 31st birthday today, hitting .350 now with 17 home runs. Blackmon can be a pest, leading all of baseball in hits. He's second behind Nolan Arenado in extra base hits. Leads the majors in total bases. Second in the National League in runs scored behind Goldie. He's had an all-star season for Colorado.
He gets on the plate so often because of that other guy we showed you, Nolan Arenado.
They're a pretty difficult combination to deal with, batting 1st and 3rd tonight. Blackmon taps another one foul. It stays 0-2. Well, he was the guy that got it kick-started with that leadoff homer for the Rockies last night that finally snapped their 8-game losing streak. They had lost 2 to the Diamondbacks at Coors Field last week, then were swept at Dodger Stadium and swept in San Francisco. So they got a win for Bud Black yesterday on his 60th birthday. Blackmon can check off that Greinke slider. Mathis completes the strikeout.
Blackmon occasionally will get into 2-strike mode where he's ready to swing at every pitch and either foul it off or put it in play. And that time Zach Greinke tempted him with that breaking ball in the dirt. He couldn't hold up.
Well, here's another guy who homered for the Rockies in last night's game. Raimel Tapia. His first career home run off Robbie Ray last night. .299 for the year. Making his 2nd straight start in right field. He hit 7th last night. Moved up into the 2-hole tonight. Looks like Bud Black is getting several of his left-hand bats in the lineup against Greinke tonight. Tapia sends another one deep right center field. Peralta on the run, on the track, and he's got it.
That was a long run that time for David Peralta from his right field position all the way over near the 413 mark out near the Ram Trucks pool.
2 down for Nolan Arenado. .294 and 15 home runs. Those 61 RBIs have him tied with Mark Reynolds for 5th most of the major leagues. And Reynolds is on deck. Coming into Arenado with a fastball. It's 1-0. He walked, tripled, and scored a run last night. Leading the major leagues in extra base hits.
Heads up. Just above us.
There'll be a lot of competition for foul ball souvenirs here tonight. Chase Field is jammed. Big turnout for this one. And back in with another fastball. They've started Arenado so far in, away, and then back in. He's ahead 2 balls and a strike. Greinke trying to establish that inner half against Arenado right away here. Back down and away. Hits it hard to second. Drury is there. 1, 2, 3 first for Zach Greinke. Diamondbacks coming up. Full house at Chase Field. The D-backs and the Rockies in your Ram truck starter for Colorado. With a pretty strong Sox game tonight is right-hander Tyler Chatwood. Winless in his last 3 starts, beaten at Dodger Stadium last Saturday when he walked 8 Dodgers in only 3 1/3.
88 pitches in 3 1/3. By far his worst outing of the year. That was coming off of 4 straight quality starts. So not quite sure what we're going to get from Tyler Chatwood here tonight.
A lineup for Torey Lovullo's Diamondbacks is brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Daniel Descalso leading it off in left field. David Peralta in right. Paul Goldschmidt at first base. Jake Lamb at third. Chris Owings will be playing shortstop with Brandon Drury at second base. Ray Fuentes in center. Jeff Mathis doing the catching for right-hander Zach Greinke.
Descalso singled, walked twice last night. He'll lead it off, and there's ball 1 from Chatwood. Daniel hitting .244 with 5 homers. Good man to bat leadoff for Torey Lovullo. He's reached base safely in 11 straight games here at Chase Field. And he hammers that one into the right center field gap. It's going to roll all the way to the wall. Descalso around second. He's digging for third. And he's in there.
That didn't take long to get the crowd involved in the game. A leadoff triple will do that. Boy, just a center cut fastball, felt high. Daniel Descalso rips it into that gap in right center. A little bit of a risky go right there. That was a pretty good relay by the Rockies. Fortunately, I think the ball might have hit Daniel in the back as he went into a slide over there at third base. Great start.
David Peralta in the 2-hole tonight. On the ground to second. Here comes Descalso, and it's 1-0 Diamondbacks. Take a look at the Rockies defensively. That's brought to you by Nationwide Vision Center.
I love it when the D-backs have a run before we can even say who's playing defense for the Rockies. Mike Tauchman will be in left, Charlie Blackmon in center, Raimel Tapia over in right field. It'll be Nolan Arenado and Trevor Story on the left side of the infield. Alexi Amarista and Mark Reynolds on the right side. Tony Walters doing the catching tonight for right-hander Tyler Chatwood.
Three pitches into the ball game. 1-0 D-backs, and here's Goldie. Paul Goldschmidt, 317, 19 home runs, leading all of baseball with those 66 RBIs. That OPS there is third best in the major leagues. And there for a strike, and it's 1-1. Goldie had a very difficult time with John Gray's slider here last night. He was 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts in the series opener. John Gray in his first game off that broken left foot was tremendous. 6 innings, 10 strikeouts.
He's going to be a force to be reckoned with the rest of the way. Every time the D-backs play the Rockies and face John Gray, he was really good last night.
Curveball missed, and Goldie's ahead 2 balls and 1 strike. Paul coming off a tremendous June. He had .347 last month with 7 home runs. 23 runs scored, 27 RBIs in 25 games in June. Not bad.
Swept up the dugout after the game, parked cars before the game. What doesn't he do?
There's another walk. Leading the National League in on-base percentage. Here comes Jake Lamb. Jake.
I'm sorry, I was just going to say about Chatwood. We mentioned he walked 8 in his last outing and 3 in the third. And apparently he was just very stubborn with his fastball. Could not command his fastball, but didn't go to his secondary pitches to try to find that strike zone. Was very stubborn with his fastball and just couldn't find the strike zone with it.
Well, coming into tonight, Chatwood had walked 50 batters. The Marlins' Edinson Volquez is the only pitcher in baseball who's walked more batters this year than Tyler Chatwood. He's already walked 1 here tonight. Here's Lamb right behind Goldie on that Major League RBI list. 285 and 18 home runs. He had an RBI double in his first at bat last night. Isn't that a problem for pitchers sometimes, is being a little too stubborn?
Yeah, you know, you just convince yourself that I can throw this pitch for a strike. I can throw the next pitch for a strike. I can throw it for a strike, but he wasn't able to. And as I said, he has a really good curveball. He's got a good slider, straight changeup.
On the ground to second, Amarista, nice flip to Story. And they turn the double play, but Descalso gets it started, a leadoff triple. Peralta the RBI, and after 1 inning, the Diamondbacks lead the Rockies 1-0. House here at Chase Field. D-backs lead the Rockies 1-0. There's a great atmosphere here for the 1st of July celebration.
Boy, and Daniel Descalso knows how to grab the moment. The fans, you know, just waiting for something to cheer about, get their hands together, start screaming and yelling. Daniel Descalso leads it off with a triple.
Well, it's going to be another great night here, July 8th, as we welcome some former D-back greats back for the annual alumni game on Saturday the 8th. Don't forget, this year's alumni game, fan, starts at 4:30 before the Diamondbacks and the Reds, so get here early. The collectible cup set will be handed out. That's courtesy of Sanderson Ford. So visit dbacks.com/alumni. Mark Reynolds leads off the second against Zach Greinke, 295 and 19 home runs. Reynolds walked, scored a run, had an RBI ground out last night. Well, one thing you've almost started to take for granted with Zack Greinke after that 1-2-3 first inning. This is his 17th start of the year. In the first inning this season, he's given up a total of 1 run and 7 hits.
Wow.
So he is a very fast starter.
You know that old cliche, if you're going to get to a good pitcher, usually you have to get to him early before he settles in. But Zack looks like he settles in as soon as he walks out there.
And his numbers for the second inning this season are almost the same. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Reynolds, the former Diamondback.
I think the Rockies got into it a little bit today in batting practice. There was a big crowd here as the Rockies were hitting. And Mark Reynolds got in there and was putting on a show. He was bombing Friday's Front Row Sports Grill out there, banging them off the scoreboard in center field.
And the left field seats were full of souvenir hunters during batting practice. Greinke gets his second strikeout.
That's the Zack Greinke slider. Outer third of the plate, a lot of downward movement.
Well, here's one of Zack Greinke's few nemesis. It's Trevor Story. 224 and 10 homers. Singled and scored a run last night. He also struck out twice. Story third in the National League in strikeouts. Of course, he announced his presence with authority against Greinke opening day last year here. Broken bat bouncer to third for Lamb. 2 down.
Second baseman, number 2.
Interesting lineup put out there by Bud Black. We mentioned it earlier. Several key guys is sitting out here and there. So Alexi Amarista is another lefty bat in there against Greinke. 280 and 2 home runs. Just his third start of the year at second base. DJ LeMahieu is out again for Bud Black. He's missed several starts this week now with a groin problem. They had Pat Valleca, a right-hand hitter, starting at second base last night against Robbie Ray, and tonight it's the lefty Amarista against Zack Greinke. Center field, Fuentes. 6 up, 6 down for Zack Greinke. Diamondbacks lead it 1-0. Chase Field. Diamondbacks lead the Rockies 1-0. And fans, if you're not able to watch the games on your TV, well, don't worry. You can stream them live on your mobile device. Just use Fox Sports Go. It's presented by your Valley Honda dealers. You can download the app, and that'll let you take Fox Sports Arizona and your D-backs with you wherever you go. All season long, Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona and Fox Sports Go. Chris Owings, 2 home runs last night. Leads off the second against Tyler Chatwood. CO 297 now with 11 homers. 1 more home run, and he will have doubled his previous career high for homers. It's only July 1st. Down 0-2. What do we think about the Diamondbacks, Bob, and what they've missed with the Yasmani Tomas, who's been out for a full month now with that groin tendonitis? CO has stepped into that 5 hole in the lineup for the most part. And he's hit like a number 5 hitter, but Chatwood gets the strikeout.
Well, that's been his kryptonite lately, that hard slider that starts on the outer third of the plate and sweeps off the outside corner. Hammered a couple of fastballs last night, but susceptible to that breaking ball away.
Brandon Drury. 1 for 4 in last night's series opener. He doubled and struck out twice. 287 and 8 home runs. Brandon, on the last road trip, you may recall, had that big 4-hit, 6 RBI game against the Rockies at Coors Field. He's turning heads. That was one of the best days of his young career. But since that game at Colorado, Drew has gone 3 for 24 up there.
And we've seen a lot of that, taking very hittable strikes. Just maybe seems to be guessing a little bit, trying to guess along with the pitcher and catcher, maybe overanalyzing the scouting report. It's hard to figure sometimes why guys take fastballs right down the middle, but we've all done it.
Well, Tyler Chatwood used to throw a lot of fastballs, about 70%. This year he's cut back on all the fastballs, and he's done a good job mixing things up a little more. A lot more curveballs, a lot more changeups to go along with a slider, and he's using all those different pitches to generate a lot of weak contact. Curveball, changeup, either a swing and a miss or a weak ground ball. That's fouled back. And he will throw his fastball in for swings and misses. Chatwood's had good luck with that this year. Average fastball velocity right in the mid-90s. Drury lays off that curveball, and it's full 3-2. He's the kind of guy, when he wants a ground ball or a strikeout, it doesn't go to that 2-seamer anymore. Now more curveball, changeup. Ray Fuentes on deck. Drury chases a high fastball. 2 down.
Hey fans, a D-backs home run tonight means a free jumbo jack tomorrow at participating Jack in a Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
Center fielder tonight, Ray Fuentes. Ray has hit safely and scored a run in 3 straight games now. And a couple of hits Wednesday in the game here against St. Louis. There's a strike. Big slow curveball, and it's 0-2. Fuentes hitting .264 with a home run. Chatwood a strike away from getting the side in order with those patriotic socks. We'll see these uniforms all the way through Tuesday in LA.
Teams have done this in the past. The shoes and socks are a little different touch this year. We've seen the hats with the stars and stripes, same thing with the uniforms, but socks and shoes this year, guys, are going all in.
Change up missed, and it's 2-2.
Look at that. I said it earlier, that looks like Joe Cocker at Woodstock. He had on a pair of blue boots with stars on them. I'm not sure where those are from.
Our 1st of July celebration here at Chase Field. Trying to get him to bite on that curveball. Again, going for the strikeout with that curve. It's full 3-2. Last time he had Drury in this position, he got him to chase a high fastball. Here's the 3-2 to Ray Fuentes. Fastball up and away, fouled off. Ray, over his last 18 games, is hitting .395. The bat has really come around nicely. Went back to the fastball, and again Fuentes fouls it off. Tyler Chatwood, despite the recent problems with the walks we told you about, is coming off a very good month. He lost only once in 5 starts in June. A 2.76 ERA last month was good for top 10 in the National League. 3 straight fastballs. He fouled off 2 of them. Chatwood missed with the 3rd, and it's a 2-out walk. Good at bat there by Ray Fuentes.
Catcher, number 2.
Jeff Mathis.
95-mile-an-hour fastball down. Ray Fuentes thinks it's ball 4. Tony Walters thinks it's strike 3, as does Tyler Chatwood. Can't all be right.
Mike Estabrook is the only one that matters, and he said ball 4. That fastball's in there for strike 1. Mathis in there at 183 with 2 home runs. Jeff has hit safely in 4 straight games now, and 5 of his last 6. Ray Fuentes, when he's at first base, got very good speed on the bases. He can really fly, but when he's down there with Dave McKay, he'll sort of crouch and angle his body towards second when he gets his lead.
Try to open that front side up just a little bit in the event he is running.
That was close.
That was too close. Ray was leading. He was going to go on that pitch. Quick enough to reverse engines and dive back in safely at first. Whoa.
Yeah. Marvin Hudson, the first base umpire.
And I say it all the time. He went to the back side of the base. Make Mark Reynolds bring that tag all the way to the back of the base. That may have been the difference right there.
Fuentes holds. Mathis hits it back up the box. Chatwood snags it, and that's the end of the inning. We'll head to the 3rd. It's 1-0 Diamondbacks. Chase Field, the D-backs lead the Rockies 1-0. Time for the unlimited baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. How about this? John Farrell, the Red Sox skipper, skipped Boston's game so he could watch his son Luke make his major league debut pitching for the Royals.
Very nice.
How about that? David Paulino, PED suspension for the Astros, and Dave Roberts, after that brouhaha with Andy Green at Petco Park in San Diego, got fined and suspended a game.
A brouhaha.
A Donnybrook.
A kerfuffle.
Yes. I think there were some accusations about sign stealing and whatnot, but those two squared off there for a moment as the bench is emptied between the Dodgers and the Padres. Here's Mike Tauchman, the left fielder. Tauchman only 6 plate appearances in his big league career, just called up this week for the minors when Carlos Gonzalez went on the DL with a right shoulder strain. Tauchman popped out as a pinch hitter last night. Another left-hand bat that Bud Black has planted in there against the right-hander Zach Greinke. This is his second career major league start. Mike Tauchman started in right field Wednesday in their game at San Francisco. He singled and walked twice. So Bud Black, interesting, I thought, chose Tauchman to start this game ahead of Ian Desmond, their $70 million free agent, who's a right-hand hitter. Slaps it the other way for Lamb. Well, Tauchman really gets up that line quickly, and he beat it out. This is a guy that's put up some pretty good stolen base numbers in the minor leagues. 3 seasons in the minors with at least 20 steals. And he was pretty quick getting up to first.
Yeah, Jake Lamb misread that ball off the dirt in front of home plate, laid back to play the big hop, and as you mentioned, Tauchman really motoring down that line. By the time Jake was able to get it over there to Goldie, he's beating it out for an infield hit.
That's the first base runner for the Rockies tonight. A leadoff single. The catcher now, Tony Walters. Walters, 288, mostly a singles hitter, just 7 extra base hits all year.
Now, partner, you mentioned Ian Desmond not in the starting lineup tonight. I think the computer got him. He's only 3 for 22 lifetime against Zach Greinke. That'll get you a seat next to the skipper.
That's where he is tonight, Ian Desmond, their prize free agent signing in the offseason. Well, it's already paid off. Tauchman a leadoff single here, their first hit. Zach Greinke facing these Rockies for the 4th time this year. He's got a win, a loss, and a no decision. Struck out 9 Rockies in 6 innings here at Chase Field April 29th. Did not get a win or a loss. Then a win at Coors Field at his next start May 5th. 2 runs allowed in 7 innings. 0-2 on Walters. Zach took the loss in Denver 2 starts ago. 4 runs, 9 hits. He went 7 1/3. He was pitching an outstanding ball game, as you'll recall. But then got beat by that Nolan Arenado 2-run triple in the 8th. Greinke in that last start at Colorado had retired 11 straight Rockies hitters going into that 8th inning. Lays off a slider, and it's 1-2. Fastball away, miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Zach Greinke unbeaten at Chase Field this year, as we mentioned at the top of the show. 7-0 in 9 starts at home this year. The pitcher Chatwood will be next.
Yeah, perfect 7-0 for Zach here at Chase Field in 9 starts with an ERA of 2.68. Opponents hitting .203 against him. Compare that to last season. Now, a very respectable 5-3 after his first 9 starts here at Chase, but the ERA was over 5. The opponent's batting average was .278. He's made it a home.
There was all that discussion. Well, they paid all this money for Zach Greinke, and you can't pitch at Chase Field. What are they going to do? Well, not so much. Not a concern.
It's like those remodeling shows, you know, where you buy a house and the realtor says, hey, you know, you can make some modifications and make it your own.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what Zach has done here at Chase Field.
Love it or list it. He's like that guy Chip Gaines down there in Waco that breaks through walls and stuff. Joan watch those shows?
I watch those shows.
Get some ideas. Walters just reaches out and pokes that foul.
You know, they have to knock out that wall and reroute the plumbing. Turn the garage into a bedroom, and you can make it your own.
We can do all that for about $2 grand. Wait, what?
It'll take us about 4 days.
Yeah, sure, just like real life. 2-2 on the Rockies catcher. Uh-oh. Tauchman takes off for second. Mathis can't pick the ball up as Greinke spiked a slider. And it's full on Walters, 3-2.
Boy, Jeff knew he had to grab it quickly because Tauchman can really run. There's that spike slider you talked about. Nice job by Jeff to block it. Recovers. But Tauchman just got a great jump down there at first base, and Jeff overran the ball. Knew he had to hurry.
So a wild pitch puts Tauchman at second. Still no outs and a full count on Walters with a pitcher on deck. Oh, floated that big, slow, loopy curveball up there and gets his 3rd strikeout.
Yeah, he used to see one of these a game, but now he started to mix them in, especially a long at bat like that where the guy has seen the slider, he's seen the changeup, he's seen the fastball. Well, let me show him something he hasn't seen.
And, you know, as soon as he got him to strike out on that curveball, he quickly ran up to Jeff Mathis and wanted a little conference. You always get, Bob, the idea that when these two guys are out here, Greinke and Mathis, they really are a duo, a team.
And I'm sure part of that conversation was to be careful with Tyler Chatwood. This guy can swing the bat a little bit.
He's a 192 hitter this year. Tauchman at second and 1 out. Slider and it's 0-1.
Yeah, really, any opposing pitcher with a runner in scoring position, you have to go after him like he's a number 3 hitter in the lineup. I mean, this is where Zach would really like to completely avoid contact.
A little dribbler in the hole, Lamb in front of Owings. Tauchman in at third, 2 outs.
Hey fans, the day after every D-backs win, you get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code D-backs50 at papajohns.com.
So now he gets Charlie Blackmon with 2 down. Blackmon struck out to lead off the ball game. Blackmon is striking out this year a little bit more than usual. Strikeout rate right about 20%. That's a career high.
I think that's the downside of the 17 home runs. He's swinging a little harder, getting a little more lift on the ball, and occasionally he'll swing and miss.
First pitch fastball is strike 1. This guy is always a problem. A .355 career hitter against the Diamondbacks, and that's in nearly 80 games. So it's no small sample size. Fastball up, lays off. It's 1-1. Boy, Mathis really had to get out there. That's that hard Greinke changeup at 88. Throw that a lot to lefties.
Sets up on the outside corner. That ball strays all the way over near the right-handed batter's box, and Jeff makes sure it does not get through.
Didn't want the changeup, didn't want the fastball.
Big curve, I think. Yeah.
And it stays fair for Goldie. Greinke's there, and they strand Tauchman. Bottom third on the way. Diamondbacks lead the Rockies 1-0.
Patriotic couple of days with all the festivities tonight. Why we're here, our U.S. military men and women. Major Ed Polito, a Purple Heart recipient, is here, and a co-founder of Folds of Honor that does so much for so many military families. Explain where you've been the last 10 years with this whole mission.
Well, what a great day to be an American and to represent Major Rooney, our founder, an F-16 fighter pilot. Our mission is to honor the sacrifice, educate the legacy, and leave no family behind on the field of battle by providing the spouses and children of the fallen and wounded educational scholarships.
That's what's amazing. 90 cents of every dollar goes to your efforts, and there's kids left behind that want to aspire for a college education, and you guys are there for them.
Well, and you're right. And we're about making a difference. And look at this. We're out here making a difference. The Diamondbacks have stepped up to the plate with the king of beers, Budweiser. It doesn't get any better than that. And that's what we're trying to do, is honor that sacrifice and make sure that we take care of that legacy.
Round out there by Zach Greinke. Major, what does this mean to you on a patriotic couple of days with the 4th of July to see this kind of crowd and the salute to America? You know, you've sacrificed, you've given it up. We say thank you to your service, but in your heart, what do you go through on a couple of days like this?
Well, all I got to do is look at my left leg. It's gone. And the thing about it is, on August 17th, 2004, I hit a roadside bomb in Iraq. Major Rooney awarded my 2 girls Folds of Honor scholarships. So on this Independence Day, I understand that freedom is not free. Independence is what it's all about. It's making sure that our country is free, but that most people understand that someone has sacrificed something for this nation to be where it is today. And I'm just grateful and honored that I get to be a part of all of that.
We say thank you, and we toss it back up to Stephen Bob.
Right.
Thanks, guys.
Hoorah!
All right, Drew, thank you very much. It's a big night here, our 1st of July celebration. You saw the shots of some of the fans there with our State 48 Patriotic T-shirt giveaways. We gave away just over 20,000 of those shirts here tonight. And boy, Folds of Honor was honored, as justifiably so, before the game today. You heard mention their founder, Major Dan Rooney. He threw out the first pitch here tonight. And the organization, Folds of Honor, will receive the 50-50 raffle proceeds tonight, BB. And with this big crowd here tonight, that's going to be a very nice check that the Diamondbacks can present to Folds of Honor.
Well, we certainly hope so.
Scalzo strikes out, 2 down, and that'll bring up David Peralta.
Yeah, while Jude was doing that interview, Zach Greinke hit a line drive back to Tyler Chatwood. He looked a little bit like Charlie Brown out there on the mound. The gloves flying, the ball's rolling away. But Chatwood stays with it, makes the bare hand play in time for the out.
Tough play for Amarista. A little scoop, and they get Peralta. A 1-2-3 third. Diamondbacks lead the Rockies 1-0. Field. Hard to beat Tom Jones.
Oh man, Tom Jones, he's the best.
Hey fans, the can't miss event of the summer is coming to South Beach in Miami. Baseball's biggest stars will take the field for the MLB All-Star Game at Marlins Park in Miami. It's coming your way July 11th, only on Fox. Raimel Tapia leads off the Colorado 4th. Diamondbacks lead the Rockies 1-0 in the second game of this 3-game series. Tapia flying out deep to right center his first time up. He homered here last night. His first major league home run. Rockies really hurting for outfielders. I should say their outfielders are hurting. Cargo's on the DL with a shoulder problem. Gerardo Parra has a quad strain. That's going to keep him on the shelf for a while, they think. David Dahl hasn't played all year. He's got a rib issue. So it's Tauchman and Tapia, the corner outfielders for Colorado tonight.
Hey, you mentioned former D-back Gerardo Parra. Saw him take some batting practice today. Ran the bases at probably about a 50% clip.
Yeah, he's got a right quadriceps strain that they say is pretty complicated, and they don't expect him back anytime real soon.
Tapia going into that full crouch in the 2-strike count. I mentioned it to you. We were watching the Rockies take batting practice, and Tapia stands almost straight up when he takes batting practice.
But then when he gets in these 2-strike counts, that's where you see the exaggerated crouch, which isn't nearly as exaggerated as it used to be. That one almost got Tony Diaz, the first base coach. This is a guy who has hit everywhere he's been, a career .320 hitter in the minors. And over his last 15 games with the Rockies, he's hitting .375.
He got off to a, pardon the pun, rocky start. Was 0 for his first 14. But has really picked it up over his last 19 or 20 games.
Yeah, started out with their AAA club in Albuquerque this year. He hit almost .360 in the Coast League. He can really run. He stole 11 bases down there. Arenado on deck. Goldie at first.
Good man to keep off the bases right there.
4 in a row set down by Zach Greinke. Arenado grounded out hard to second his first time up.
Third baseman, Arenado.
Arenado last year much more of a patient hitter. Backed off his usual uber aggressive approach up there and doubled his walk rate last season. But this year it's kind of gone back to being that guy that's up there hacking early in counts. Back to being very aggressive. And so that walk rate has dipped compared to last year. Here's a good example. Makes a big cut at a first pitch curveball.
Old habits die hard.
Guess so. And his strikeout rate, Arenado, this year has jumped up to a career high. Swings at the first 2 pitches. Fly ball to center. Fuentes.
Hey fans, we invite you to participate in Gila River Game Night by signing up at one of the interactive kiosks located here at Chase Field during any D-backs home game. We had a very entertaining match game tonight in front of a full house.
That went right down to the buzzer, and it was pretty obvious, but I didn't think homeboy was going to get it. But he just got it in with about 2 seconds left, and boy, there was a lot of pressure on. Got about 45,000 people screaming at him here. 2 and 5. But he figured it out just in time. Here's Reynolds. That game is always one of the highlights every night when they do the match game.
Really
I love
is.
watching that.
It's taken off like gangbusters here at Chase Field this year.
I would like to see how you would perform in that game under the pressure, because there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I know, and there's some math involved.
Well, that's trouble. That's why I'm out. Boy, Greinke really throwing a lot of those slow curveballs up there against these Rockies hitters. It's 1-1 now. Good night to be at the ballpark. Our July 1st celebration, a 15-minute fireworks spectacular coming up after the game tonight. Biggest fireworks show in town. That's presented by Gila River Casinos. Our friends over there have really, from what I've been told, outdone themselves this year.
Looking forward to this one.
Yeah. Open up the roof after the game for that fireworks spectacular. Fastball's a strike, and it's 2-2.
How about this, partner? Zach Greinke's recorded 8 outs in this ball game. 4 of them have come on 1 or 2 pitches.
Well, let's see. If he can get a strike here or an out, he'll only get 50 pitches through 4 innings with Story on deck. This was the way he started his game Monday here against the Phillies. He was in total command early. That was interesting because he gave up a couple of first inning singles against the Phillies here Monday and then set down 12 straight Philadelphia batters. But suddenly that command got away from Zach in the 5th inning. He walked 3 in that 5th inning. That drove the pitch count up, and so he was done after 5. There's the strikeout. Zach Greinke has a 1-0 lead. Bottom 4 coming up. Fourth here. D-backs lead the Rockies 1-0. Fans, don't forget, you can add the Robbie Ray strikeout counter bobblehead to your D-backs collection coming up Saturday on July 22nd. That's the Diamondbacks and the Nationals game, a 5:10 start here at Chase Field. So get your tickets now at dbacks.com. Come on in. We got room for you here at a packed Chase Field. D-backs lead at 1-0. Goldie walked his first time up against Tyler Chatwood. Chatwood coming off a 6-pitch third inning. Grin there from Goldie. Looks like he's kind of biting his tongue on that strike call by Mike Estabrook back there.
Well, biting your tongue keeps you from saying anything.
When did you ever learn that?
I didn't. After it was way too late.
You could just see Goldie on the previous pitches kind of smirked and said, huh, all right, strike. Okay. Wanted to check there on that hard. That might have been a hard changeup from Chatwood or a two-seam fastball. 2-2. Had a lot of movement on that pitch. Base hit. Right on the line. It's in the corner. Goldie digging for second. He's going to hit for third. And he's in there. Raimel Tapia couldn't pick the ball up in that right field corner. And Goldie's at third to open up the fourth.
I think Goldie was quite sure where the ball went off the bat initially. He drives it down that right field line and eventually starts running. Yeah, that's going to be a fair ball. I'm not sure what Tapia was doing down there in the corner, but he had all kinds of issues. Goldie had questions about whether he was even going to go to second, and he ends up at third.
Jake Lamb hit into a double play his first time up tonight. Now Walters and Chatwood need to talk it over. Thought maybe they would think about giving Tapia an error over there, allowing Goldie to get from second to third base, but it was hard to see exactly what happened deep in that right field corner.
I like those leadoff triples. I'll take my chances of scoring with a leadoff triple.
Well, especially when you've got the #2 RBI man in baseball at the plate, that helps too. Fastball's a strike, and it's 0-1. Jake has now hit safely in 5 straight games. 65 RBIs, the second most in baseball. Goldie going to have to stay put at third as Reynolds takes care of Lamb. That was hit too hard to come home.
We're going to take a look at Paul Goldschmidt's triple down into that right field corner. I think we have a look of what happened to Raimel Tapia down there in the corner. Just kind of overran the ball, snuck between his legs, rolled all the way out to the foul pole, allowing Goldie to end up at third base. I'm surprised that's not a double in an air.
That should be double in E9, but it's, at least for the moment, a triple. 1 out now, and here's Chris Owings. Rolling down the line. Goldie is home. CO, another extra base hit, his 22nd double, and it's 2-0 Diamondbacks. Just able to keep that one fair over the third base bag.
Trying to go to that slider that he got him to swing at and miss for strike 3 back in the second inning, but that one just spun right in the middle of the strike zone, and Chris rips it down into that left field corner to push the Diamondbacks lead to 2.
Boy, Chris Owings really hitting like a #5 hitter in the lineup. 2 home runs last night, another double tonight. Talked about that at the top of our show. Brandon Drury chased a high fastball his first time up tonight and struck out against Chadwood. Owings at second, 1 out, 1 run in. We talk about Chris Owings driving the baseball. Counting tonight, last 12 games he's got 14 hits, and of those 14 hits, 6 doubles and 4 homers.
Wow.
Bounce to second. Amarista gets over there. Owings into third. And the batter will be Ray Fuentes.
Center field,
Ray walked, had a really good at bat his first time up against Chadwood. Fouled off a whole bunch of pitches, laid off a low fastball to draw the base on balls. Chadwood tonight has walked 2 and struck out 3. Diamondbacks with 3 hits in the ball game, all extra base hits, 2 triples and a double. That one comes to the backstop, and here comes CO. It's 3-0.
Chadwood curveball bounces out there just in front of home plate. It looked like Walters was in pretty good blocking position, just hit off the side of that chest protector and goes all the way into the on deck circle, allowing CO to score.
Diamondbacks begin tonight 3.5 games behind the Dodgers National League West lead, and 2.5 up on these Rockies for that first NL wildcard spot. In the middle of a big 6-game stretch, 3 here against Colorado, and then starting on Tuesday, 3 at Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers are back in San Diego tonight playing the Padres. That's Rich Hill for LA, Dylan Overton for San Diego, his 2nd start of the year. They're in the 4th inning right now, and LA leads the Padres 1-0. Fuentes misses that curveball, but the Diamondbacks get 2. Goldie got it started, a triple into the right field corner. And then Chris Owings, an RBI double. He came home on a wild pitch. We head to the 5th, 3-0 Diamondbacks.
When the Midsummer Classic will serve up a magical moment. I'll never forget this as a kid back in Eastern PA when Reggie Jackson almost went out of Tiger Stadium. Unbelievable home run that hit the generator. 1971 Midsummer Classic off the late great Doc Ellis. I say that because he was an extremely colorful pitcher for so many years with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Bob, I know you were playing high school ball back in Coshocton. I bet you were watching that game.
Absolutely, Jude. Wouldn't miss it for the world. And I'll tell you a funny little story. My sister and I took a road trip to Detroit and went to Tiger Stadium the next week, and I was amazed. I stood behind home plate near the backstop and looked up to that light tower where Reggie hit that ball, and I didn't think it was humanly possible for anybody to hit a baseball that far.
You know, they said 539 feet had it not hit the generator. Speed off the bat 124 if you're looking at some analytics numbers, but remarkable moment.
Trevor Story hits that one foul. I remember Kurt Gowdy's call is trying to find the baseball in the air, thinking nobody could hit one that high and far, but Reggie did. Good to have Jude with us here tonight on this 1st of July celebration at Chase Field. So far, Zach Greinke has given up only 1 hit. A single by Mike Tauchman, no walks, 4 strikeouts. And in terms of the pitch count, he's in really good shape. Called strike 3. Ring him up with a fastball. Greinke set down 7 straight. That's his 5th strikeout.
Second baseman,
At times, it's almost like Zach Greinke can read a hitter's mind. I mean, when was the last time you saw Trevor Story take a fastball right down the middle of the plate? Never.
I mean, it's just never a good idea to throw him that pitch anyway, as far as he hits it, especially considering that he's had some success against Zach before. But you're right.
Yeah, I think Zach, you know, he just the way he sets pitches up, he has an idea of what that hitter might be looking for next, and then he just doesn't throw it.
And you know, every night, Bob, with Zach, there's a different pitch that's kind of featured, and you're right, it's that slow curveball. He started Story with a big, slow, loopy curveball, and just threw one there to Amarista, backed up with a fastball, and now he's ahead 0-2.
It's always fun to watch Zach Greinke pitch, but I really like to watch the first couple of innings of every game as he kind of probes and tries to see what pitches are going to be working for him on a given night. Some nights it's a slider, some nights it's a changeup. Tonight it appears to be that big, slow curve.
And he's throwing it very early in counts. First or second pitch oftentimes. Amarista fly to center his first time up. He's now 3 for his last 31 up there. Hacks at that fastball, and it stays 1-2.
Yeah, we're here in the 5th inning. Zach has thrown 6 first pitch curveballs for strikes. I mean, at this stage in his career against the Rockies, there's really no secrets. Everybody knows what Zach throws. It's just a question of when he's going to throw which pitch. That's what sets him apart.
Funny, because he seems to be, some of this could be by design, but he seems to be shaking off Jeff Mathis a little more than usual. Not a whole lot, but seen him shake off a couple of times now and then. Look out. Yes, he went. Amarista on the ground, strikes out. Greinke's now struck out 3 consecutive Rockies. That's 6 for the ball game.
left fielder Mike Tauchman.
Well, Mike Estabrook pretty emphatic behind the plate there. Welcome to Chase Field. He can watch 21 pitch. He's set down 8 straight Rockies now, and here's the guy who's got Colorado's only hit so far, the left fielder Mike Tauchman. Mixes it up. First pitch fastball that time, 0-1. This looks like the Zach Greinke that started against these Rockies 2 starts ago at Colorado, and Torey Lovullo sent him back out there to start that 8th inning. And you know, Bob, you and I commented on that. He was as in control in that start as any he's had this year, which is a big reason why Torey sent him back out there. Mathis pounces on that one, makes a terrific play, and throws out Tauchman. That's 9 straight set down by Zach Greinke, who's got a 3-0 lead. at Chase Field where the D-backs lead the Rockies 3-0. Fans, you can get to any weekend game this year with the new D-backs Bud Light ticket pack. It includes next weekend's matchup against the Cincinnati Reds here at Chase Field. The pack includes a game ticket, a Bud Light, and a bacon wrap Sonoran hot dog, all for only $29. Visit dbacks.com/Bud Light. Mathis hits a foul ball to lead off the bottom of the 5th. Zach Greinke in control. 5 scoreless innings. He's given up only 1 hit, a Mike Tauchman single to lead off the 3rd, and infield single at that. He just barely beat it out. Tyler Chatwood, on the other hand, has walked 2, struck out 4. He's only given up 3 hits, but all for extra bases. 2 triples and a double by the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, Diamondbacks are only 1 for 3 with runners in scoring position tonight, but they scored a run on a ground out to second, also on a wild pitch.
One and 2. Rockies 48-34, Colorado's best ever start. Right now 3rd in the National League West, 6 games behind the Dodgers, only 2.5 behind the Diamondbacks for that first NL wild card. And you always want to catch the Dodgers if you're the D-backs. No reason we can certainly try to win the division because it makes such a big difference in the postseason picture. But if you do have to get a wild card, you want to host that game, and in this ballpark, that would make an enormous difference. You have to think, Bob, for the D-backs if they could host that wild card game.
I think so. The way they played at home here at Chase Field this year, you definitely want that game to be on your home turf.
It's been a difference maker. How'd that guy get in here? Dodgers are at San Diego. They lead the Padres 2-0 in the 4th. Here's Zach Greinke. Tyler Chatwood, 5 strikeouts in the ball game. He struck out the last 2 he's faced. That strikeout of Mathis, the 400th of his career for the Rockies right-hander. 1 and 2 on Greinke. Zach able to check on that curveball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. D-backs trying to change their luck against this Rockies group. Just 4-6 versus Colorado this year, and only 1-3 against the Rockies here at Chase Field after last night's loss. Greinke knocks that to center, a base hit. A 1-out single for the pitcher.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Daniel Descalso tripled and scored to lead off the ball game for the D-backs tonight. Struck out his last time up. This was about as good a start as you could ask for the Diamondbacks tonight. Descalso leads off the ball game with a triple to right center.
Yeah, people have said for years it's the most exciting offensive play in baseball. The triple, I think the inside the Parker is, but triples happen a lot more often.
That one is snagged by Reynolds. Chatwood gets over there, but they can't turn the double play. The throw gets behind the pitcher covering, and they eliminate Greinke at second for the second out.
That's always a dicey double play when the pitcher has to run over there and cover the bag, and this is going to be a strong throw from the middle infielder over the head of Tyler Chatwood. Fortunately for the Rockies, it hit the netting in front of that first base dugout and ricocheted right back onto the field of play.
So it's Descalso at first, 2 down for David Peralta, who has twice grounded out to second, once for an RBI following that Descalso leadoff triple. Base hit. That gets into the gap. Descalso's on the move. He's headed for third. The freight train digging for second. And he's in there with a double.
Apparently Zach Greinke didn't get the memo.
Which is?
You got to hit an extra base hit. Zach hit that single into center field, but every other hit for the Diamondbacks in this game has been an extra base hit.
Sound that train whistle. There it is. 15th double for Peralta. And there's second and third, 2 down for Goldie, who has walked, tripled, and scored a run tonight. Last time up, he hit one down the right field line. That Tapia bobbled in the corner. It was ruled a triple. Takes a cut at a first pitch fastball.
I'm sure Tony Perez-Chica has alerted David Descalso down there at third base. With Goldie at the plate, it wouldn't be out of the question for Tyler Chatwood to try to pitch around him with a base open. And that usually means throwing a lot of breaking balls, and breaking balls many times end up in the dirt. So Daniel Descalso has to be on his toes down there at third base.
Another fastball from Chatwood. Goldie's bit both times, and it's 0-2. Now we can go to that curveball or changeup certainly here if he wants to. Both those pitches have been very effective for Chatwood this year. Descalso at third, Peralta at second, and 2 outs.
Goldie 14 for 28 since June 1st with runners in scoring position.
Is that good?
That's pretty good.
Listen to this place. Walters can't quite hang on, and Goldie still alive at 0-2.
You see the rotation on that slider working away. He just got a piece of it off the thigh of Tony Walters that time.
To first for Reynolds. Chatwood strands 2 through 5, 3-0 Diamondbacks.
rolling that slow curveball up there. 6 times he's thrown it for a first pitch strike in this game. Some of them a little harder than others, some of them bigger and loopier than others, but just pounding away at the bottom part of that strike zone with first pitch curveballs here tonight.
Greinke, and this is one reason why he's among the best in the business at getting hitters to chase a pitch that's outside the strike zone. And with that curveball and slider and changeup mix he's got, you just saw why they might chase some of those balls.
Yeah, 6 curveballs on first pitch for strikes. He's thrown strike 1 to 15 of 16 hitters he's faced tonight.
He's retired the last 9 Rockies who've been up there. Tony Walters, the catcher, who struck out his first time up, leads off the Colorado 6th. Dodgers, by the way, now lead at San Diego 4-0. Corey Seager and Justin Turner back-to-back home runs at Petco Park. They're in the 5th. Rich Hill starting that ball game for LA. Can't believe that Dylan Overton making his second start this year didn't shut down that Dodger lineup. We'll be in Dodger Stadium. Big 3-game set starting on Tuesday night. Diamondbacks have announced their starters, by the way, for that Dodger series. Corbin, Godley, and Ray. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That one just missed. So with the way that that lineup is constructed for the Dodgers, you'd like to have 2 lefties starting for the Diamondbacks. So that sets up pretty well. They have a lot of good left-hand hitters. Grounded shortstop for Chris Owings. Make it 10 straight, set down by Zach Greinke.
Pitcher, Tyler
one thing about setting your rotation, sometimes depending on your opponent, because Torey has already established this year that they were going to give guys extra rest from time to time. They've dropped Randall Delgado into the rotation from time to time. Really gives you a lot more flexibility if you want to do something like that. Get the 2 lefties on the Dodgers.
And pitcher Tyler Chatwood. Yeah, it really lined up when they dropped Randall Delgado in there a week or so ago to make that spot start push everybody back a day. You had Ray and Greinke and Walker set up for this series, and then 2 lefties going in LA. Goldie takes care of that one, 2 down. Here's Zach Godley. He will start July 5th at Dodger Stadium.
Center fielder, Charlie Blackmon.
I don't know what was going on there.
Not quite sure. He's a pitcher.
He's his own bobblehead down there. Blackmon has struck out, grounded out 0 for 2. Charlie Blackmon leading the major leagues in base hits. Second in extra base hits. .70 pitches for Greinke, 50 strikes. Talking about Charlie Blackmon's numbers, he's definitely a really good player, but also he's something of a Coors Field product. I mean, look at these numbers this year. 390 at home, 263 on the road. His slugging percentage drops about 400 points away from Coors Field. So while he's certainly having an all-star season and is a very good player, it sure helps him playing in lower downtown Denver. Greinke behind 3 balls and no strikes. That's a hard changeup on 3-0. Rockies still with only 1 hit. Hold on there, Charlie. That's strike 2, says Mike Estabrook. Fastball from Greinke. Count is full.
It's a bat by Charlie Blackmon. The second 2-0 count that Zach Greinke's had in the ball game. Only the only 3-0 count he's had in the ball game.
Just got a Greg Maddux strike right there.
He did.
Although it was down and in, Maddux usually worked down and away, but you get the point. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Went back to tonight's favorite pitch, that slow curveball. Mel Tapia on deck. Greinke's got a big crowd behind him tonight. More than 46,000 with us on our July 1st celebration as we try to even this series with the Rockies at a game apiece. 3-2 to Charlie Blackmon. We'll do it again. 46,338. Here to see their Diamondbacks, who are right in the thick of this National League postseason race. 3.5 games behind LA for the division. 2.5 up on these Rockies for that first NL wild card. Center field, Fuentes. Make it 12 in a row. Set down by Zach Greinke. It's 3-0 Diamondbacks.
For this season, this guy, Torey Lovullo, has got to be in the conversation. One of the more dramatic turnarounds of the year. I asked him before the game his influence. Who hasn't been influenced by John Wooden? And this is hanging up in his office. A leader must be what he wants his team to become. And what impresses me so much about Torey Lovullo in talking to his players is the genuine skill of communication. Players know exactly what's expected. They know exactly where to stand. When you guys mic'd up Taijuan Walker and Torey Lovullo, that conversation was so profound to me. How many managers, Bob, you know, that just sit there in the dugout and say, here's what we're going to do. We do this, we do that. You specifically know what's on the line. And I think that has really been a major part of his success so far this season.
Well, there's no doubt Torey's had some great influences throughout his amateur and professional career, whether it be baseball or John Wooden from basketball. He talks about his father a lot and what a great influence his father was.
Of course, Torey Lovullo, a UCLA Bruin himself. Jake Lamb leads off the 6th against Tyler Chatwood.
And the reason Torey is influenced by so many different people is because he pays attention. He listens.
He sure does. He's a great observer.
Yeah.
Because it's not and he looks for things. It's not like he just notices things haphazardly. He's looking for little signs of body language, player interaction, all kinds of different things. Big swing at that curveball, and Lamb strikes out to open up the 6th.
I think the statute of limitations is probably expired, and I won't mention the player's name, but in a game very early this season, one of the Diamondbacks players failed to drive in a runner from third base with less than 2 outs. And when he came back to the dugout and Torey went to talk to him, the first words out of the player's mouth were, "I didn't get the job done. I should have got a hit." And Torey stopped him immediately and said, "Do you realize you said 'I' twice before you said anything about the team?" I mean, a lesson learned very quickly just with one line. This isn't about you and your failure or your success. This is about the team. The guy behind you will pick you up.
Linking together at bats. That's been a recurrent theme all year long. The idea that one at bat links with the following at bat, and you create a big inning full of big moments. Knowing that if you don't get that run home, the guy behind you probably will. Story at shortstop.
Both pitchers tremendously efficient here tonight. Tyler Chatwood starting this inning. 12 of his 15 outs have come on 4 pitches or fewer.
Well, Chatwood, when he's got it working, is a very good ground ball pitcher. You just saw one right there. He's got a ground ball rate of about 57%, which ranks him top 5 among all major league starting pitchers in terms of ground ball percentage. He's able to generate grounders with that change-up and curveball. He's got the 2-seam sinker as well. Fastball's a strike on Drury. It's 0-1. He has walked 2, struck out 6 tonight. Tyler Chatwood. There's another ground ball. Arenado smothers that one. And Chatwood works a 1-2-3-6. Diamondbacks lead the Rockies 3-0. More than 46,000 fans with us tonight watching the Diamondbacks lead the Rockies 3-0. What's next? Brought to you by CenturyLink. The series finale here tomorrow. Diamondbacks live pregame show at 12:30 on Fox Sports Arizona and Fox Sports Go. First pitch 110. Edman Marquez for the Rockies and Taijuan Walker for the Diamondbacks. And what we hope will be the rubber game of this 3-game set after the Rockies won last night. Zach Greinke, who has retired the last 12 Rockies he's faced, takes a 1-hit shutout into the 7th. Raimel Tapia 0 for 2 leads it off. Greinke had only 77 pitches through 6 innings. Another fastball's fouled back, and it's 1-1. Great night to be here at the ballpark, Chase Field. You haven't bought your tickets yet, get on dbacks.com. Come on down tomorrow for the series finale. Off day on Monday, then 3 at Dodger Stadium starting Tuesday night. We're back here next weekend, fans, for 3 against the Reds. dbacks.com/tickets. The alumni game is coming up Saturday, and that's before the game against the Reds, which is a 7:10 start. There's old friend Gerardo Parra on the DL right now with that quad injury. Caught that foul ball. He is rarely not smiling and laughing. Got Toppy to chase a hard fastball. 7 strikeouts for Greinke. He's retired 13 in a row.
Got Toppy to chase up and out of the zone that time. They're talking about Gerardo Parra. He was out here. I mentioned he took batting practice. He ran the bases. And then he signed autographs for about 45 minutes. He is still very popular here in the Valley of the Sun.
Won 2 Gold Gloves playing outfield for the Diamondbacks. Always a fan favorite here. Nolan Arenado, never a fan favorite here. 0 for 2. And that's why. Just the second hit for Colorado, a 1-out single. That'll bring up Mark Reynolds.
Mark Reynolds.
Another former Diamondback. Mark Reynolds with those patriotic socks, that open stance up there. Reynolds, a guy with very odd platoon splits. They're completely backwards. He's hitting almost 340 against right-hand pitchers, including 16 of his 19 homers, but he's only about $180 versus lefties. So that doesn't make any sense. Fastball, and it's 0-2. Supposed to be the other way around, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be, but sometimes it's hard to figure out. Guys maybe change their approach a little bit, look for pitches middle in instead of middle away, whatever the case may be. But he's hammering right-handed pitching this year.
There's that slow curveball. Mathis hangs on. 8 strikeouts for Zach. 2 down.
Hey, fans, you can crush home runs and dominate in your very own Derby competition in the official MLB.com Home Run Derby game on the App Store and Google Play. Swing for the fences against more than 10 million players from around the world as your favorite Derby All-Star. Download Home Run Derby for free today.
Well, speaking of home runs, here's Trevor Story, always a threat to go deep in this ballpark. So far, he's grounded out and struck out 0 for 2. Story has played 10 games in his career at Chase Field. He's hit 7 home runs here. 7 of his 8 career home runs against the Diamondbacks have come in this ballpark. Out in front a bit on that slider, and it's 1-1. I mentioned this last night. This is not a guy who's going to choke up with 2 strikes or shorten up. He will always swing for the fences. Always trying to hit the ball hard. One reason why he's 3rd in the National League in strikeouts. Fastball, strike 2. $46,000 plus on a Saturday night in downtown Phoenix. Didn't bite on a slider, and it's 2-2. Another slider. The count is full. Alexi Alaristo on deck. Greinke at 90 pitches, 64 for strikes. 2 outs, 3 balls, and 2 strikes. High fly ball, left field corner. Descalso at the wall, and it's gone. Trevor Story, that's his 11th, and it's 3-2 Diamondbacks. That's his 8th career home run here at Chase Field.
It came on a slider low and away. Not a bad pitch that time from Zach Greinke. Kind of an awkward looking swing from Trevor Story. Dropped almost to his back knee, just cast that ball high in the air right down the third baseline and snuck it into the bullpen for a 2-run homer.
Just the 3rd hit for Colorado. Here's Alexi Amarista. This is hit pretty deep left field, backing up to Descalso, but he's got room, and that ends the inning. We'll stay here at Chase Field on our 1st of July celebration. Trevor Story's home run, his 11th of the year, has cut the Diamondbacks lead to 1. It's 3-2, and as we celebrate the 4th on the 1st, it's time to honor America. Here's the voice of Chase Field, Mr. Chuck Drago.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now ask that you please rise and sing along as we pay tribute to our great nation with the singing of God Bless America.
For the 7th, time to take a look at this day in baseball history, brought to you by Geico. Back in 1957, Orioles pitcher George Zuverink and catcher Frank Zuppo formed the first Z battery in Major League history.
3-2 Diamondbacks lead now. Ray Fuentes leads off the home half of the 7th against Tyler Chatwood, who spikes a fastball up there. Now here's the question for you here, BB.
Okay.
Zach Greinke's spot is due up 3rd in this inning. Right now he's sitting on 94 pitches. He just gave up a 3-2 home run to Trevor Story to make it a 1-run game. What do you do? Right, it's a tricky call here.
That's why Torey's the manager.
We'll find out.
I mean, I would think, given the fact that Zach handles the bat so well, you could use him to bunt if there's a runner on base. You can allow him to swing away if there's nobody on or runners in scoring position, and send him back out with the bullpen warming up along with Zach in the 8th inning.
Well, that's what I was going to say. No one's warming up as of yet, but Archie Bradley has started just kind of getting loose down there. There's a look inside the Sanderson Ford bullpen. As he'll start to get it cranked up. Greinke's spot due up 3rd in this inning. He's thrown 94 pitches through 7. Chatwood's at 80 right now. 1-2 on Ray Fuentes, who was walked and struck out, the center fielder.
By the way, George Zuverink is buried in Scottsdale. Passed away about 3 years ago at the age of 90.
What happened to Frank Zuppo?
Not quite sure.
Still 2-2 on Ray Fuentes. Dodgers still leading in San Diego 4-0. They're in the 6th. Seager and Turner have homered in that ball game for LA. Chatwood's done a pretty good job. The Diamondbacks every now and again will get a big extra base hit. Descalso's tripled, Goldie's tripled, doubles by Peralta and Owings, but for the most part Chatwood has been in control. 2 walks, 6 strikeouts.
Well, just so you know,
yeah,
unfortunately Frank Zuppo, those of us who knew him well called him Noodles, passed away back in 2005.
Noodles Zuppo, that's a great old-timey baseball name. Trevor Story. Oh, as you said, Bob, Story, much like Troy Tulowitzki, never plans and throws. He always throws while on the run, and that one sailed a little on Mark Reynolds.
A slowly hit ball, but Story got to it in good shape. Right there, he just continues to run toward home plate as he makes that throw across his body rather than set his feet and make an accurate throw. Take it. Ooh, that's a nice play by Tony Walters to keep that ball out of the first base dugout right there.
Well, they put an error on the board. Fuentes is at first to lead off the 7th. The hitter is Mathis, and Zach Greinke is in the on-deck circle with Archie Bradley warming up in the bullpen. Mathis has grounded out, struck out 0 for 2. You want to start the runner here? Well, got very good speed down there, Ray Fuentes. 1-run game in the 7th. A lot of tough decisions in this ball game for the Skippers.
That usually happens in close games.
Yep, it's funny how that works.
Well, the Rockies are certainly expecting something from Ray Fuentes over there at first base. Couple of pickoff attempts before a ball's even delivered to home plate.
Jeff has hit safely in 4 straight games, 5 of his last 6, 0 for 2 so far tonight. Looks at a fastball for strike 1. deep center field. Blackman backing up. It's off the wall. Fuentes flying around third. Mathis headed for third, and he's in there. It's 4-2 Diamondbacks. Guess what? Another D-backs extra base hit.
Yeah, third triple in the game. A slider once again that never took the break. That was backing up on Tyler Chatwood. Worked its way right back onto the barrel of Jeff Mathis's bat, making a bid for a home run to straightaway center. Got a very favorable carom off the wall out there, rolled back toward the infield.
Second triple of the year for Jeff Mathis. And that's going to do it for Zach Greinke. Ketel Marte will hit for the pitcher. Sixth career triple for Jeff Mathis. Greinke's night is over. Marte will hit. Mathis at third, nobody out. A run is home.
I'm not saying it's going to happen, but this is a good time to squeeze. My former manager in San Francisco, Roger Craig, used to always talk about taking advantage of confusion. And there wasn't much more confusing than that triple to straightaway center for the Rockies. Charlie Blackmon misplayed it off the wall. The other outfielders weren't there to back it up. The relay throw back to the infield was dropped. That's a perfect time to put a squeeze on the next pitch.
Well, Marte, a double Thursday against the Cardinals for his first hit as a Diamondback, just up this week from AAA Reno. And he struck out as a pinch hitter last night. Three Diamondback triples, 2 doubles, 5 of their 6 hits for extra bases. Marte sends Tauchman back in left. Here comes Mathis. He dropped the ball. Marte hustles into second, and it's 5-2. Like Tauchman, just his second major league start. Got to that, but he just dropped it in the left field corner. And that's tacos.
Tauchman gives us tacos.
Oh, nice. Woo!
It seemed like a fairly routine play, even though the ball was struck well. Tauchman just allows it to hit off the heel of his glove as he was looking back toward the infield. He was not going to have a play on Jeff Mathis at the plate anyway. And just clanked that ball out there in left field. Marte ends up in scoring position at second base.
2 Rockies errors in the inning have already led to 2 Diamondback runs. And suddenly it's 5-2, still nobody out, and the leadoff man is off. The leadoff man is up. It's Descalso with Marte at second. Tauchman one more time. That's slicing on him. He gets under that one for the first out. David Peralta now.
Right fielder, David Peralta.
Fuentes reached on the throwing error by Story. Mathis tripled. Tauchman dropped the Marte fly ball. 2 runs are home. Here's Peralta, who doubled his last time up. He shoots one the other way. This will get Marte home. 6-2 Diamondbacks. Freight train headed for second, and he's in there. Shock it all, Bob Brenly. Shock it all.
Link those at bats. What a beautiful thing here in this inning. And a recurring theme for the Diamondbacks this year is taking advantage of the opposition's mistakes. That brutal throwing error by Trevor Story on the ground ball by Ray Fuentes just opened the door wide up for the Diamondbacks here.
Paul Goldschmidt now. Mike Estabrook looking into the Rockies dugout here, along with Marvin Hudson, the first base umpire. They may want to appeal. Now the no-pitch intentional walk will put Goldie at first. Some confusion there, both on the part of Estabrook and Hudson. That's exactly what Bud Black wanted. Now here comes the Rockies skipper, and that's going to be it for Tyler Chatwood. 2 Rockies errors in this inning have led to 3 Diamondback runs. Still only 1 out. We'll take a break. 6-2 D-backs. Half of the 7th, 3 runs are home. They lead at 6-2. And the new pitcher for Colorado on to face Jake Lamb is the left-hander Mike Dunn. He came into the ball game last night, gave up Chris Owings' 2nd home run. This is his 35th appearance.
Yeah, he came into the game to face Jake Lamb. He got him on a fly ball to left field, but then Chris Owings crushed a fastball to left field, and that was the end of the night for Mike Dunn.
So he'll face Lamb and Owings on deck. 2 Rockies errors in this home half of the 7th. In what was a very tight 3-2 ball game. Suddenly 6-2 Diamondbacks, and threatening more here with Peralta at 2nd, Goldie at 1st, 1 out, and the hitter is Jake Lamb, who's 0 for 3. Slider missed. It's 1-0. Jake tonight has twice grounded out, once into a double play, and struck out. A 5-game hit streak going. Another slider. He doesn't bite. He's ahead 2-0. 65 runs batted in, the 2nd most in the major leagues for Jake Lamb. Zach Greinke's night is over, in line for the win. Fastball, and it's 3-0. There is action in the Colorado bullpen with a right hand hitting Owings on deck. He homered off Dunn last night. Bud Black is bench coach behind him, Mike Redmond. Now Oberg, the right-hander, likely getting ready for Owings. Ball 4, the bases are loaded. Bud Black checking in with Mike Estabrook now. Chris Owings, who homered twice last night, will be the hitter. Bases full. Back after this. Greinke was outstanding tonight. 7 innings. He gave up only 3 hits. Both runs allowed coming on Trevor Story's 2-run, 2-out homer in that 7th inning. The Diamondbacks have answered with 3 in the home half. And on to face Chris Owings with the bases loaded and only 1 out is the right-hander Scott Oberg.
Yeah, you think of Zach Greinke's outing. Even the home run to Trevor Story was not a bad pitch. Got an off-balance swing from Story. Unfortunately, caught it on the barrel and hit it right out of here to the shortest part of the ballpark. Other than that, he was tremendous tonight.
Well, here's a guy who's been tremendous at the plate. Chris Owings, 2 homers last night. An RBI double tonight in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 3. Double switch for Colorado. Alexi Amarista comes out of the ball game. Pat Valleca takes over at second base. He'll bat 9th. Pitcher spot now 6th for Colorado. So 3 runs are in. 1 out, bases loaded for Owings. Chris in his last 12 games, 6 doubles and 4 homers. First pitch swinging, pops it straight up in the air. Walters will give it a look, and he's got it. 1 pitch, 1 out for Oberg, 2 down, and the batter will be Brandon Drury.
Second baseman, Brandon Drury.
9th man to bat in the Diamondbacks 7th. Drury 0 for 3. Brandon fighting it a little bit right now. He's in a 3 for 27 skid up there. Bases full, 2 down. Peralta at 3rd, Goldschmidt at 2nd, and Lamb at 1st. Sliders in there, strike 1. Two Colorado errors in this inning have led to 3 Diamondback runs. Arenado at 3rd, spins and throws. Another Gold Glove play by Nolan Arenado. Oberg leaves him loaded, but the Diamondbacks get 3. Mathis got it started, an RBI triple. And then David Peralta, a ribby double. We go to the 8th, 6-2 D-backs. He was outstanding tonight. 7 innings. He gave up only 2 runs on 3 hits. Didn't walk a batter. Had 8 strikeouts. Our Chaz Roberts air conditioning and plumbing cool plays of the game.
Always fun to watch Zach Greinke pitch, but especially on a night like this when everything was working for him, moving the ball in and out, up and down, changing speeds. Rockies just didn't get many good swings against him tonight.
Greinke retired the first 6 he faced, gave up an infield single to lead off the 3rd, then set down the next 13 Colorado batters. And answering the ash line call to the bullpen, it's Archie Bradley to start the 8th. Defensive change behind him. Daniel Descalso comes out of the ball game. Gregor Blanco takes over in left field. Blanco will bat ninth. Pitcher spot now, the leadoff spot for the Diamondbacks. Mike Tauchman, who dropped that fly ball out there in left, one of the two Colorado errors in that bottom of the seventh, leads off the eighth. Tauchman has beat out an infield single for a hit and grounded out 1 for 2. Just his second major league start. Just called up for the minors this week, having a very good year at AAA Albuquerque. 26-year-old rookie. Shoots it the other way. Belt high hop for Lamb. Tony Walters, the catcher.
Catcher, Tony Walters.
Walters has struck out, grounded out 0 for 2. Floats a curveball up there and steals strike one.
Archie Bradley stealing a page out of the Zach Greinke playbook. Rolled a curveball up there to steal strike one. Now go to work.
Yeah, that one's got a little more on it. Diamondbacks about hit the Rockies 7-3. They lead at 6-2. Tricky play at shortstop for Owens. Tough throw. Ocio really planted and gave that one everything he had, but no chance to get Walters there, who runs well for a catcher, a converted infielder.
Nice play just to get to that ball. Slicing away from him. Goes into a slide, plants and fires. Unfortunately, the throw pulls Goldie off the bag. That'd have been a close play if it was on line.
Valenka double switched into the ball game, taking over at second base, his first at bat tonight. 220 and 5 homers. Started last night's ball game at second base, went 0 for 3 with a walk. Rockies again tonight without DJ LeMahieu, who sat out their last game at San Francisco Wednesday after coming out of Tuesday's game against the Giants with a right groin cramp. But he didn't play last night, not in the lineup tonight either. This is popped up. Mathis and Goldie over to have a look.
Mathis had to rely on his catcher's GPS right there.
What is that exactly?
Well, you're chasing a foul ball back to the backstop, and you know that on deck circle is just littered with weighted bats and pine tar rags and donuts for the batters to swing in the on deck circle, and he went right around it.
Just an innate sense of where that stuff might be.
Yeah.
First base side. Goldie's under it. 2 down. Charlie Blackmon, the hitter. Blackmon 0 for 3.
At the plate, center fielder, Charlie Blackmon.
Just had a sense, Bob, that look, it's July 1st. There's no such thing as a must-win game right now. But, you know, the Rockies won last night's ball game. Diamondbacks had lost 3 in a row. A couple of disappointing finishes in the previous series against St. Louis. Just kind of this one kind of had a feeling like you knew there was going to be a big crowd. They really needed this one tonight.
Well, they've played well in front of big crowds this year. This is the second biggest crowd of the season after opening day. And last season, it was a little different story. It seemed like the team just didn't respond when they had a lot of fans in the stands like we do tonight. But this year's team loves playing in front of big crowds.
46,338 with us tonight. Archie's got it. 2 outs, Archie. You only need 1.
Kangaroo court.
Yep. 6-2 D-backs.
The post-game show coming up right after this one, and Mark Grace, we're going to talk about, I know at some point, that response inning by the Diamondbacks, right?
Oh, that was enormous after Trevor Story had gotten Colorado within spitting distance, hitting that 2-run homer. Might have been digging himself a little bit, made a careless error, and the Diamondbacks made the Rockies pay with 3 runs. That's a great answer.
All right, we're preparing the show.
Hey, he was digging himself.
Lots to get to. That's Mark Grace. We'll see you after this one's done. Let's send it back to the booth. Steve and Rob, take it away.
Well, you got to love that analysis of the analysis from Gracie. Doing double duty there. How about this between innings, BB? I thought you might get a kick out of this as Ray Fuentes leads off the 8th. They're trying to warm up the pitcher out there, Scott Oberg. Here comes the bench coach, Mike Redmond, putting the gear on.
Yeah, he can handle it. Mike Redmond, a catcher during his playing days. He probably catches some sides from time to time just to keep the hinges in shape.
He only got 1 pitch, though, before Tony Walters was ready.
That's enough.
Ray Fuentes now. That's hard to first. Nice stop there by Reynolds with a backhander. 1 pitch, 1 out in the 8th. Here's the Rockies bench coach, Mike Redmond, former Miami Marlins skipper. Jeff Mathis now. It was a pretty quick inning for Archie Bradley. Bullpen is quiet right now, so it looks like maybe Archie gets the 9th here. Mathis, an RBI triple his last time up.
Well, the Rockies will have Raimel Tapia leading it off in the 9th inning, followed by a string of right-handed hitters. So yeah, it very easily could be Archie going back out there.
Yeah, it's crickets back there in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. Here we go.
That's you.
Oh! Diamondbacks have 3 triples. The team record is 4. Descalso got it started leading off the 1st, and then Goldie to lead off the 4th, and finally Mathis in the 7th. 3 D-backs triples tonight.
Goldie's was kind of an accidental triple. He didn't even realize where he hit it initially, but put it right down that right field line, and Tapia had some issues with it down there in the corner, but I'd like to see 1 more triple here.
That would be a Diamondback record. Sitting out there in the home run porch. What a great seat that is. Look at that. Right out over the field. Broken bat bouncer. Arenado's over there. Son, that ain't no way to make a living in the big leagues.
Not at all. Hitting ground balls to Gold Glovers.
Guy's been in the league 4 years. He got 4 Gold Gloves. First at bat tonight for Gregor Blanco, who took over in left field for Daniel Descalso. Blanco 252, couple of home runs. He had his second straight 2-hit game last night when he singled, doubled, and scored a run. Now there's some action in the Diamondback bullpen. The left-hander Andrew Chafin will start warming up. Blanco shoots one out there. Maybe this is your triple. It's off the wall. Blanco is in at second, and he'll settle for a double. Another extra base hit by the Diamondbacks. That's their 7th extra base hit out of 8 tonight.
Wow. Maybe a triple if he pulls this ball to the right center field gap, but tough to run out triples to left field and left center. Scalded that ball. Short hops the fence out there in deep left center field.
Well, now you've got the pitcher spot, which is the leadoff spot after they double switch Blanco into the game. And here's the Herminator. Archie Bradley will not pitch the 9th now as Herman bats for Bradley. Chris doubled in his start behind the plate last night, 195 and 7 homers. A chance for a 2-out tack-on run here with Blanco at second. Oberg snags it. That ends the inning. We'll head to the 9th. Diamondbacks trying to weave in this series in a game apiece. They got a 6-2 lead. Chafin coming in. Ninth inning on this 1st of July. A big night at Chase Field. More than 46,000 fans with us. And a chance to even this series with the Rockies at 1 game apiece heading into tomorrow afternoon's series finale. The Ashline call to the bullpen gives us the left-hander Andrew Chafin. Raimel Tapia, Nolan Arenado, and Mark Reynolds due up here in the Colorado 9th.
Yeah, it looks like Andrew will take as much of this inning as he can. Hopefully 3 batters and let's go home. Nobody warming up in the Diamondbacks bullpen to play matchups, so all the righties up after Tapia.
Tapia 0 for 3. And his first career home run off left-hander Robbie Ray here last night. 286 on the year. Well, if this score holds, Bob, something we talked about at the top of the show, Zach Greinke will improve to 8-0 in 10 starts at Chase Field this year. You talked about if they do have to settle for the wild card, what it would mean to be able to play that game here at home. Greinke 8-0 at Chase Field this year in 10 starts. That's a nice card to have in your deck. But hopefully they catch the Dodgers for the division. 3 against LA starts Tuesday. Tapia slices that one the other way, a leadoff single. Nolan Arenado.
Third baseman Nolan Arenado.
Arenado singled and scored in the 7th. Came home on the Story home run. 1 for 3. Mike Butcher on the bullpen phone. Mike Fetters answers on the other end. Arenado knocks that one into right. Tapia will stop at second. A pair of singles open up the Rockies' 9th.
First baseman Mark
Thing about
Reynolds.
Colorado, you got them down 3-0, boom, Story homers. You got them down 6-2, boom, couple of singles open up the inning. These guys are never out of it the way they swing the bats.
Yeah, they're an explosive offense at any time.
Reynolds will be the hitter, the former Diamondback. Fernando Rodney starts to get loose in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. Talk about guys that had a good month right there. Fernando Rodney, the 4th pitcher ever to face at least 28 hitters in a single month and not give up a base hit. That was Fernando Rodney's June. Here comes Mike Butcher, maybe to give Rodney a little more time to get loose.
I think you're absolutely right. Rodney just began throwing down there a moment ago. Yeah, first 8 or 10 tosses are just kind of to get all the bone chips lined up and get everything loosened up a little bit, and then he'll start throwing in earnest.
He went the entire month of June without giving up a hit. So, you know what? He better, if he's not on the All-Star team, there's a problem.
It's a big deal. I think I went some months without a hit.
Edouard Ramirez, Brian Harvey, and Sparky Lyle, the only other 3 in baseball history ever to do that. So here's Reynolds. Nobody out first and second. Reynolds has struck out 3 times tonight against Greinke, 0 for 3. We mentioned those backward platoon splits we showed you earlier in the game for Reynolds. Remember, he's hitting about .340 versus righties, but only about $180 against left-handers. So he's backwards up there. So this is advantage Chafin. Slider in the dirt, 1-1. Trevor Story is the on-deck hitter, pitcher spot behind him. Rodney still warming up in the bullpen. Fastball, strike 2. Tapia the runner at second, Arenado at first.
Reynolds was ready to come out of his shoes. Swinging at that breaking ball right there, was up out of the zone, but after taking that fastball right down the middle on the pitch before, it kind of makes me think that maybe Mark Reynolds is looking for a breaking ball, because normally he comes out of his shoes swinging at fastballs.
Got him. Went to the slider, one down. Fourth time tonight Reynolds has struck out. Here comes the skipper.
Yeah, it wasn't a great pitch from Andrew Chafin, but it serves the purpose. Now Reynolds to chase a breaking ball out of the zone.
Well, Rodney's going to come on to close this one out. One out in the ninth. D-backs have a 6-2 lead. Fernando Rodney on his way in. Beat here at Chase Field as the closer is coming in to try and close out a Diamondbacks win. They lead at 6-2. Rockies have 2 on and 1 out. Trevor Story will be the hitter. And here is Fernando Rodney, a career best 10 straight hitless outings. He has not given up an earned run since May 1st. Today's July 1st.
Very enthusiastic crowd tonight, but they really got into it when Fernando came out that bullpen door. They pumped up the music, got the lights flashing. What a moment.
They're into it. 46,338 with us. Trying to even this series with Colorado with 1 game apiece. Trevor Story, who homered his last time up against Zach Greinke, will be the hitter. Story's home run is 11th of the year. And his 8th career home run at Chase Field. Raimel Tapia, the runner at second. Nolan Arenado at first. 1 out. Strike 1, a fastball. This was Story on a 3-2 pitch from Greinke in the 7th. Just kept it fair into the Diamondback bullpen. It was 3-0 at that point. That made it 3-2. But the Diamondbacks answered with 3 in the home half to take a 6-2 lead. Oh, 2. Chafin responsible for both Rockies base runners. Trying to nail this one down. It would be Greinke's 10th win of the year. Another fastball. Story 3rd in the National League in strikeouts. The 1-2 from Rodney. Got him.
Story kept waiting for that Fernando Rodney changeup that never came. All fastballs.
Well, the pitcher's spot is up. It's 6th in the Rockies order. Ian Desmond, who didn't start the ball game for Bud Black tonight, will be the hitter. 284 and 5 homers. Two on and 2 out. Missed with a fastball. Desmond's hot right now. 1 for 4 last night with a single. 10 hits in his last 22 at bats. Foul to Stu Cole at third. $46,000 plus. All fastballs from Rodney. Broken bat roller to shortstop. Diamondbacks win it. There goes the arrow up into the roof here at Chase Field. Diamondbacks even this series at a game apiece. 6-2 the winner as Greinke gets his 10th, and he stays perfect at Chase Field this year.
What a great ball game all the way around. Diamondbacks flexing their muscles. A lot of extra base hits in this ball game, and Zach Greinke, as usual here at Chase Field, right on top of his game.
He is 8-0 at home. Greinke improved to 10-4 on the season. We mentioned the crowd here tonight. A tremendous turnout by Diamondback fans. 46,338. 5 biggest crowds of the year in the ballpark, BB. Diamondbacks in those games are 5-0.
Nice, nice. What a turnaround from last season playing in front of big crowds, and hopefully we'll see a lot more big crowds the rest of the way.
Time for some big analysis. Gracie standing by with Todd Walsh. Todd.
Okay, thank you very much, Steve. Indeed, the party continues, not just at Chase Field for the fireworks, which will take place, but here on the postgame show, which is coming up in a moment. But Mark, a quick thought.